As I said at the top of the show, today we're going to talk about the upcoming session of the General Assembly. Since we don't know what we'll be taking up, we're going to start out first talking with our guests about something they hope we'll be taking up. That is the K-3 class size mandate. And joining us to talk about that, we have Julie von Haefen. Julie is the president of the Wake County PTA Council. She also is the advocacy chair for the North Carolina PTA. Julie, welcome. And we have Dr. Tim Markley, return guest to the show. Thank you for being here. Dr. Markley is the superintendent of New Hanover County Schools. Dr. Markley, I'm going to start with you. There are always a number of legislative issues that affect the classroom, but at this point right now, it seems that the class size issue has been topping the list. It's certainly been generating the most attention. Can you give us a sense of how that mandate has been affecting New Hanover County schools?
Sure. Keith, thanks for the invitation. In New Hanover County, we've spent the last year looking at how we're going to implement K-3 class size. We put together a committee to look at ways to do it. And so we've got some creative issues around grouping of teachers, pairing teachers. It will impact us in terms of loss of classrooms for some of our art and music teachers. The real issue for us, though, going forward is the planning piece. We simply need to know how the art and music positions are going to be funded so that when we go to our county commissioners with our budget, we know how much we're looking to ask for them. So that's a concern for us. Second is our recruiting. We hire several hundred teachers a year. So with a class size reduction, we're going to be looking for more teachers. And our concern is where we're going to find those highly qualified teachers.
And I mean, it's January, obviously. It's already, I mean, you're midway through the school year. This will be the time that you really would like to already know, have some certainty, right?
We're in our planning process right now, budget-wise. So we're looking at what our ask is going to be, and there are some legislative mandates of when you have to go to the county commissioners. So the sooner that we can clear up what the funding mechanisms are, the better off we're going to be in New Hanover.
Right. Now, Julie, it's as I mentioned, this class size mandate has gotten a lot of attention, and frankly, parents have been some of the most visible and vocal. Certainly, I've seen it in the news here in Wake County, but really across the state. Why are parents so engaged in this issue?
Well, our members across the state are very concerned about the class size mandate. It really affects every child in North Carolina, whether you have kids in K-3 or higher grades. With the funding shifts of moving teachers to the K-3 space, we feel like it's going to affect kids all across North Carolina. And I think parents have really engaged on that because it's affecting them personally. It's affecting their child. It's affecting the loss of these specials. It's affecting possibly the loss of their classroom space. It's affecting their teachers. And I think the teachers are sharing that with the parents, and then the parents are getting engaged on the issue.
Now, you mentioned this, and I can ask Dr. Markley about this too, but it's not a K-3 issue only. It's what you're hearing from parents and also from the schools is the concern that it's a ripple effect up through grades 4 and really up through 12. How does that? What are you hearing about that from your members?
Well, so this year, I mean, there was already a gradual phase-in of the class size mandate. So here in Wake County, we're especially seeing classrooms in 4th and 5th grade, particularly, that have students upwards of 30 to 35 kids in a classroom. That's not good for our kids. It's not good for the teachers because they're dealing with a lot of those discipline issues that arise when you have that many children in a small space. As far as middle and high school, we've heard that if funding needs to be shifted to the K-3 space, that schools especially that offer electives and things like that, optional classes, those will disappear in middle and high school to shift the funding down to K-3.
Right, and that's something that, I don't know if that's happening in New Hanover County, but I've heard that as well, that the concern is, it may not even see the impact directly. It's just things won't happen. There won't be extra classes. There won't be another AP course added. Is that something you're having to look at?
And particularly with 4th and 5th grade, when you start to have to put more students into that same building, more classes for the same number of students, it's going to put a pressure on 4th and 5th grade. So you're going to see larger classes in our district and across the state, because we all understand small class sizes are a good thing. But if it's not small class sizes for everybody, then you end up creating these larger classrooms in the upper grade, and it does have that ripple effect up the line. So we've got a real concern about what the impact will be beyond 3rd grade into those upper grades.
Let me ask you this. This is something that this issue has been particularly hard to cover on this show because we don't seem to be able to agree on the actual facts. I mean, that's been because what we're hearing, I mean, you're one of many superintendents who've been on the show, who we've talked to, who are telling us this is a big issue. We don't have enough classrooms, we don't have enough funds, we can't recruit enough teachers. Legislators, particularly in the Senate, are saying this is a made-up issue, that it's been funded, that this is that superintendents like Dr. Tim Markley have been using this money for something else. What's your answer to that?
Well, I mean, and I can't speak for other superintendents. We've met all of the class size requirements the state has put down over the years. So when this comes down, it impacts us in terms of how we fund those extra special positions. The state legislature has said that they're going to fund those, and I have every belief that they're going to do that. The question for us is how we do that so that when we go to our county commissioners, and they're great partners with us, we know we need this number of positions to continue what we're doing. So it's that uncertainty factor for us that's really the concern.
Right. Julie, last word from you. What do you want to see happen?
We want to see them take action to have a fix on this, and as Dr. Markley said, we need it quick because of the funding issues with going into next year, especially here in Wake County. We have year-round schools that are already planning on hiring and assignment decisions for July, and so waiting until May to the short session is just too late. So we really want them to take action soon.
And so the action would be, I mean, obviously, I mean, there's a couple of things that could happen, right? You could just eliminate the mandate,
right,
and let the superintendents make their own choices. The other would be to properly fund it.
Exactly, yeah. Restoring some of the flexibility on class sizes, I think, would help as well. Here in Wake County, we've heard that would
Is
help.
that what you're looking for too?
We're just looking for them to fix it as soon as possible. Like I said, it's the law. We can make it work. Will there be issues with space? Yes. Will there be issue with larger classes and other grades? Yes. But once we know what the funding mechanism is for those specialty teachers, we can get into the planning part.
All right. Well, thank you both for being here. We're going to keep watching this. We'll keep reporting on it. We'll see what happens next week. Thanks so much. Now, when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion about the upcoming legislative session with representatives from the North Carolina School Boards Association and the North Carolina Early Childhood Foundation. But first, see if you can answer this question. According to a national survey of teachers, which of the following changes or reforms have directly affected them in the past 2 school years?